Hey traders, welcome to Charts and Coffee. Hope everyone is doing well. Happy Friday. We had an absolute dud of a PCE volatility reaction this morning. And the idea here that with the PCE, we were going to get some kind of confirmation to what was happening with the FOMC's decision to hike rates and very likely the fact that we're now going to pause. PCE sweeps in, and it really just becomes a chance for us as traders and investors to kind of confirm whether or not what the Fed said was really in line with the data. So today's data was actually probably a bigger deal than the candle would suggest. And so therefore, what I'm going to basically say from here on out is two things. These are a couple of things I was talking to the Lorna bot about some of the decisions we make in the mastery as far as which days can still be useful versus which days we want to remember to have a little bit more risk tolerance, maybe even avoid the action. And bear with me, gang. I'm just fighting with this training room trying to get in. Sorry about that. Okay, I think it's finally... All right, we should be good in the training room now. All right, so what I was saying is the day after the FOMC is really becoming far more tricky than the day of. So if we go back and look at the last two FOMC events, I'm even looking at it from the perspective of when I upload my trades into TradesViz and the different services that I've used over the years. If I look at the day of FOMC, which I generally regarded as a very difficult day to trade because we're in that wait and see mode as we are expecting whatever decision the FOMC is going to make to affect the market, because increasingly we know that hikes are coming. We've known that throughout this year up until this month, July. We've known that certain hikes were incrementally coming, but we also knew that later in 2023 they were going to pause. And as long as the Federal Reserve didn't change what we think we knew to be incorrect, that's how much confidence traders and investors have had in rallying the equity markets despite the rate hikes. So no, gang, rate hikes don't mean the equity markets are necessarily going to sell off if what we think is going to happen further down the line is that pause. And remember, the pause precedes those cuts. And that's the mode it seems that we're in. And then why, again, is that PCE such a big deal? Because the PCE came in as expected, and it doesn't kind of, there's no liar, pants on fire trade as we see data contradict what Jerome Powell and company have been saying. So that's where we sit, gang. And we have uptrends in the S&P. We have an uptrend in the NASDAQ. We have even the lagging index has been the Dow, and even the Dow has organized into an uptrend. Three important things have happened this month to continue to suggest risk appetite. The first is from Q2 to Q3, XLF, right? We saw that transition from kind of a choppy market to demand. This week, we're seeing XLV. This is a laggy sector. I've talked about this a lot, gang. Market breadth does not matter. Market breadth reflects a basic misunderstanding of the way the markets are really comprised. I'm making words up now. So the idea that all stocks have to participate in a move to the up or down side ignores the composition of the indices, which are largely still, regardless of that NASDAQ rebalancing, right? They're still high concentration weighted, not only at the stock level, but at the sector level. So as long as high concentration weighting remains the way in which the indices are built, right? And the way in which the high concentration weighted sectors in those indices, by the way, they're high concentration on stocks. So you're thinking, okay, Rog, how many times did you say high concentration in the last 45 seconds? As many times as I could. And the reason for that is a small number of stocks dictate the general direction of the market. And we should be very happy about this because as investors, well, it can be tricky, but let's remember a lot of outsized gains over the last 10 years are because of high concentration weighting, gang. But as traders, this is fantastic because as a trader, we have sort of this pre-curated, built-in watch list where we know if certain stocks are moving, most things are going to move with them as well, right? So please remember, I'm not in any way talking about market breadth. I'm talking about specifically those sectors that make up, for example, the S&P, XLK, XLF, and XLV. Are they moving together? If they are, all of a sudden, we have a lot more bullishness in the S&P. And by the way, since April, right, XLK, XLC, so XLK, think Apple, Microsoft, XLC, think Meta, Google, and then XLY, think Amazon, Tesla. These have been moving higher. And if these are moving higher, guess what is going to move higher? The NASDAQ. So we use that sort of engines and cylinders. The index is the engine. You lift the hood. Boom, you're going to see those cylinders. You're going to see those sectors. And so keep an eye on that. All right. And, ultimately, if we're seeing this transition, this only makes the summer that much better. July has been fantastic, right? Why? Because rather than focusing on tech, right? I have actually very little exposure to tech in the mastery right now because we had the rebalancing. That tech was far and away the leader. It was hard to get the pullbacks, to be quite frank. But with financial surging and with healthcare surging, the J's, I don't know what it is, but the J alphabet for us this month, but JP Morgan, monster trade. Johnson & Johnson, monster trade. As risk appetite starts going up in the Dow, things like copper, things like metals and mining, Freeport McMoran, these three alone. And by the way, I know I've mentioned this. So on Wednesday, I just want to make sure everyone gets a chance, to at least check it out, the webinar, because what you're going to see is my expand upon what I've been doing this month. I've been setting up the slide deck for the webinar. We're going to go through all the alerts. I'm going to share the charts. We won't be able to go into detail, of course, but I'm putting in every single chart from every single alert that we took in the mastery. So we're looking at July, not the best of July, not the worst of July, all of July. And I'll show you what we've been doing this month and why looking at the high concentration weighted sectors participating has made such a huge, huge difference. You can check it out at simplertrading.com/opportunity. That's next Wednesday, August 2, 8 p.m. Eastern. And I do want to just mention, gang, we are doing a trial for the Sector Secrets Mastery. I don't do these often. I don't know when the next one will be, but from August 3 to September 1, we're going to be doing an immersive trial. We have an entire trial package for you all, and get $7. So put a 5 and 2 ones, some on your desk. You're not going to want to miss this to join me and really what is just a awesome, supportive crew in the room. We're a very active room. We do not meet once a month. We are in there every day. So for some of you thinking, Rog, how often are you in there? I want to put this here so everyone can see. This is the week of July 24. So I send these notes out to the members and I say, look, this is the overarching theme. It's the FOMC, right? And then every one of these is a session in that room. We open every morning with an hour day trading session. We move on to short-term swings. And then you could say, like you would look at a TV guide, aren't I dating myself here? You look at a TV guide and say, okay, I want to jump into those. I'm really not interested in day trading, or I'm really not interested in setups, or heck, I want to check out that macro and position portfolio. I will talk about what we've been building in terms of a position portfolio since Q3, late Q2 of last year. That's also part of something we do in the mastery. So really want folks to know what we do. I don't think everyone necessarily knows all the sessions and what we're covering. So this is going to be a great opportunity for me to fill you all in so you can figure out whether it's something you want to do, if it will fit your schedule, which I think it will fit everyone's at some point because we have so many different schedules and alerts. And then, of course, if it's going to suit the way that you want to trade, right? And that's why it's a trial package. We're going to be giving you a number of the indicators that you need in order to join for the month and keep up, right? So I really want you to have a full immersion, right? Okay. Anyway, back to our charts. Let's grab some questions, yeah? All right. So let's see. Stephen asked, did your Futures Freedom Corps? Oh, very cool. That was a long time ago. Yeah, it seems like a minute. Thinking of doing the trial next week. What times are you in the? Well, there you go. There you go. You don't need a strategy course. Nope, you don't need a strategy course to join us in the room. Remember, the room is active trading, gang. You get my alerts, you get my analysis, and it's an active trading room. So that gives you a pretty good idea. And I'll go over the schedules and the times that I'm in there. Stephen, I think the first thing to mention is it's really every day. Yeah, I'm in there about 2 hours every day. But you might say, Rog, I don't have the time for that. If you don't want to day trade, no problem. But we only day trade for about an hour. So if you have about 65 minutes in the morning, jump on in. We trade the very early part of the open, and then I'm done with that. And then the second part of the morning is short-term swings. And if you can't stick around for the short-term swing session, don't worry, because you're going to get the alerts as we send them out. And we're very active on the alerts. We've been updating some things in terms of what type of trades we can send out that have shelf life and the ability to grab the trade without feeling rushed and harried. So yeah, check out the webinar. I think it'll answer your questions, my friend. All right. Next up is, when will the daily price movement range indicator be available as a standalone? Praveen, I've got so many other things that we're trying to. Yeah, I apologize. I've been working on trying to get that available. We still have the folks that are in that from that class who have the indicator from there, and so that was what, 12 months included with the class. So I'm thinking pretty soon, Praveen. But you know what? I'm gonna quit guessing at when we're gonna have it available. I don't believe it is yet, and I don't know the ETA on that. So rather than my guess, which I have been not correct on, let's see. Yeah, I do not know. Do we have the daily price? Hang on. You know what I need to do? The standalone daily price movement range is available. Yeah, hang on. I'm actually looking at a message from the Trish boss who's on top of all this stuff. I'm just a trader around here. Let's see. Yeah. So again, as far as the standalone, you need to call the office. Praveen, I'm getting it straight from the Trish boss. I'm getting it straight from the source. Just call the office. Yeah, give the office a call. And then as far as, there's no standalone sales page. That's why she's telling you to call the office. And then as far as the package, yeah, you're going to get the Outlook, that top tier Outlook newsletter, 1 month to the HPMRs, 1 month to the DPMRs, and the indicators that I use in the room. So just a quick look at what that old package will be. All right, moving on. What kind of symbols do y'all have here? In mind, let's see. Hi, we must wait to start the trial until next week. Yes, Jim. Well, I mean, the trial, I don't know that the sales page is available, but yeah, I'm just going to say yes, because we'll have the offer available Wednesday, and I guess technically day one will be August 3. Yes. So let's just look at that. Do I record the session? Everything that I do is recorded in that room. So we had a bonus session this morning where we were setting up some futures trading in the Sector Secrets Mastery around that 8:30 hot zone, recorded. I'll be starting up the morning where we'll be day trading options and futures, right? We do side by side, both of them, which is kind of cool. A lot of traders are now saying, oh, Rog, I totally see the connective thread. We do that in the morning, recorded. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They are recorded, and you can check them out later on. Abby, who is an unsung hero here at Simpler Trading, does a lot of, I think she does all of the video updating for, and there's a lot of video. And I'll tell you what, she gets it updated quick. Yeah, I mean, sometimes our morning sessions are posted by lunchtime. I mean, quick. Yeah, Abby, definitely unsung hero, getting that archive of all the videos and all the sessions for all the services. Yeah, definitely shout out to Abby. All right, next question is, where do I sign up for the trial? So Jody, right now, I don't have the page for the trial. I do have the page for the webinar. And Jody, I do mean this. Please check out the webinar, whether you can do it live, which would be great because we take questions, or if you catch it later on replay, we get that replay out to you right away. And check it out, because I don't want anybody going into the mastery not aware of what we're doing and how we're doing it, and how it's something that they could incorporate into their life. I don't want anyone thinking this is, I've got to be at the desk all day. I really want everyone to see that if you compartmentalize, you can day trade for 65 minutes. And it is 65, right? We go 9:30 to 10:35 most mornings. And or you could swing trade, and or you can portfolio trade. So looking at all those time frames and time horizons, and then everyone's saying, yeah, that does resonate. Because I think it's really important to be a good match for the room gang. As much as I would love everyone hearing my voice to join the crew, and it is a great group in the mastery, I want to make sure it's a really good fit. And that's why those webinars are really important. So do check that out. All right. So next up, let's take a look at Walmart. Thank you for this symbol. All right, Walmart. Now, Walmart is part of the XLP, right? So let me give you a quick glimpse of the way, if we were doing this in the room, we would start the conversation. And this is watch list building, gang. This is the most, it's actually the easiest, and it's the most effective. It's funny how easy and effectiveness tend to sometimes travel the same path. What is moving together, right? That's so important. What I mean by that is, let's look at this group here and say, okay, if Walmart's going to move, who's it going to move with, right? Where is it heavily weighted? Because if high concentration weighting is something that I hope I've piqued your curiosity on, you're going to realize that your trading strategies and your trading indicators, if you're struggling right now, it's not that they're necessarily wrong. You might be doing the right thing in the wrong symbol. So a big part of what any of my mastery people would say is, what's the needle mover? Oh, I'm really learning how to trade the right symbols, not the meme stocks, not what's being talked about on television, or not what everyone else is trading. I finally understand why certain symbols follow through and others don't. Case in point, if I was looking at Estee Lauder for a long, I'd be in a lot of pain. And you can see by way of some very simple color-coded indicators, Estee Lauder is saying, short, definitely don't buy me, right? Look at MO, look at Altria. Why isn't it moving, right? Why isn't this looking like Costco? It has to do with the structure of the market. Will they generally move together? Probably, right? Probably. But wouldn't I rather be in a symbol, like you mentioned, Walmart, that has a better chance of moving higher? By looking at that grouping, not only are we understanding what tends to move together, which really matters, gang, and it matters more and more since 2008, because high concentration weighting is continuing to become a larger and larger factor. It's not going anywhere. I look at Walmart and then I start to say, okay, does this have the probability of following through? Yes, but here's the key part. Walmart's already made its move. Yeah, Stanley, I'll tell you from where it made its move. And all of this is just mapped out on the chart, right? I'm letting the chart do the heavy lifting right here and right here. Right now, is it making a move? Yeah, some folks might look at a move to the up or down side, but here was one opportunity. Here was a second. By the way, during the trial, you will get 1 month of the daily price movement ranges. And I say 1 month because these are updated pretty frequently. So we will give you 1 month of the updates. So you're getting the most recent volatility data being incorporated into the indicator. So you will get this during the trial. We've never done this before. So let me give you the specific dates, right? On the 7th, daily price movement range. And again, on the 20th. So July 10, July 20, and then look at what it's done in the wake of that. Yeah, that's what it's done in the wake of that. So let's do the same thing. So Marcus is asking about Pfizer. Same idea. Now, healthcare is tricky because it's just now starting to come on in terms of that structure, now suggesting a rising tide lifts all boats. What does that even mean, right? It's something I've said for a lot of years. And the reason I say that is high concentration weighting. If this was, I will tell you, if this was a drinking game and high concentration was the cue, we'd all be passed out by now. But I hope you realize that at this point, if you get the weighting, gang, you're actually decoding a really important part of the market. I absolutely hope that resonated in this episode of Charts and Coffee. So what is your relative outperformer? Pfizer? How about Johnson & Johnson, which we're actually in and have been in for quite a few days. So Marcus, Johnson & Johnson, Lilly, Thermo, Abbott, Danaher, avoid Merck, avoid Bristol-Myers, meh on Abby, although AbbVie's starting to make a move, right? Pfizer, I would say is a no, right? And that's how quick you can do a relative performance high concentration weighted scan. Okay. Really, really simple. Really simple. All right, gang. And just like that, I've run out of time. And by the way, we start the show at 9. You can start putting in the questions even before we start so I can get to them. So next time I'll see you all will be Sunday. We have our show right here at the Simpler Trading YouTube channel at 6 p.m. I'll see you then. Have a great day. Be good to each other, gang. I'll see you in the next update.